And that's the news. The time now is 7 minutes past 8.
BBC Radio 2, Ken Bruce.
Hello. Well, England and Northern Ireland going to the World Cup. Any room for any more there?
It will come in time, you just be patient. That's right. La, 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 la.
Billy Preston and Rita. It will come in time. It's 10 past 8. And it's Thursday today. This week has... well, it went very slowly to begin with. And now it's rushing by. Thursday the 14th of November, thanks to Ray, looking bright and fresh this morning as befits the day that we have upon us. It's rather cold out today, and if you're driving, especially down here in the southeast, I know there's a lot of fog about. I was part of that. I drove in on that, with people, of course, sitting right on your tail. There is nothing more annoying than when you are being a good boy, or you think you are, and you fall back a little from the man in front, and then somebody comes right up behind, right in your tail, so you move forward to get away. Oh, so dangerous. Please, if you are following somebody, just fall back a little, all right? Not that anybody would do anything I said, but I saw lots of things this morning on the way in. I saw a fox crossing the road, yes, and then further on, it's so cold, you see, there's steam rising out of the drains in the road. Oh, Big Chief I Spy has nothing on me. Just thinking about drains on the road, you know, that's one thing that has no uniform name round the country. It's called a different thing. These little gratings in the road, you know, where steam comes from on cold mornings. That's the sort of thing. No name round the country that is immediately recognisable anywhere else. I believe down here in the southeast they're called gullies. Is that right? Gullies. Well, in Aberdeen, for instance, they are called cundies. And in Glasgow, for some reason, it's a stank. Can't think why. But if there are any other names on that theme, could you let me know, please?
If not for you,
For me.
if not for you. If not for you.
Do it for the money, then. Olivia Newton-John, if not for you. It's the 14th of November, and a birthday of somebody terribly important. Just a minute, I'll stand up and say it's a birthday of somebody terribly important today. Christopher Jones of Aylesbury, who is 6 years old today, and his mum says he'll be off to school about 8:45. I'd go a bit earlier today because it's a bit foggy, Christopher. Please tell them that although he may never become famous, he will always be his mum's prince. Somebody else thinks that today as well.
Radio 2, Travel News.
I think he did become a bit famous, though. It's 8:15. Drivers in East Anglia, the East Midlands, and South East England face a frosty start to the day. And patchy fog is affecting a number of major routes. Visibility is less than 50 yards on sections of the M11 and the M25 in Essex. And the hazard warning lights on the M25 are out of action between the M11 and the Dartford Tunnel. Additional speed restrictions are in force on the A23, the M3 and the M25 to the southwest of London, and visibility is down to 25 yards in places. Now, it is patchy fog. We know, you know, and I know that's the most dangerous kind. You can be in the clear all the way, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then suddenly, boom, right in the middle of it. So do watch out, please. Take extreme care while the fog persists. Give the vehicle in front plenty of room, reduce your speed, take it easy on the brakes, and use your headlights. Another thing here, we told you earlier about an accident on the Windsor Relief Road. That road has just been reopened, and the traffic is moving freely again. And at Heathrow, freezing fog is causing diversions for some inbound flights this morning. However, other airports in the southeast are operating normally.
Radio 2, Travel News.
You're a pretty little thing. Get my top hat on and twirl my moustaches. Herman's Hermits, you pretty thing. David Bowie wrote that. 19 minutes past 8 it is now. From Cardiff, Keith writes to say, I was flabbergasted the other night. As Frankie Howard used to say, my gast has never been so flabbered. I took my girlfriend out for an Indian curry. I would describe her as pretty and pleasantly plump. It's easy for you to say that when she's not sitting opposite you now. As we ordered the meal, I noticed the waiter giving her Les Dawson-type lecherous looks. Whoa! We were eating our chicken madras, and the waiter came to the table. I assumed he was going to say something like the usual, you know, is the meal to your satisfaction? Some more poppadoms, perhaps? But no, he ignored me and said to my girlfriend, excuse me, would you like to come to the pictures tomorrow night? I wonder if they've got the curry off him yet. Or is he still soaking in a bath of Jimbo's favourite washing powder? Chicken tikka got it clean. Here to the fifth dimension.
When you see someone upon the ground, you lay down so you don't have to walk around.
23 minutes past 8.
Radio 2, competition time.
Time. 23 minutes past 8, as I said. Yes, it is. Time for the competition. Drop me a line. An exacting competition where you have to guess, or even second guess, the title of a song. I'll give you a line of lyric from it. You give me the title of the song. Do it 5 times in the week before you send in your entry. Friday is the day to send it in, i.e. tomorrow. Now, Jackie Hughes of Southend-on-Sea has already won, I think, a calendar, not an egg cup. And she says, I've been looking at this calendar, packed with exciting new recipes, egg-citing new recipes, and what do I find? Boiled egg with soldiers. What happened to things like haggis egg burgers, or even porridge scramble? Incidentally, do haggis lay eggs? Haggis do all sorts of things, which makes it very difficult walking in the Highlands. But we won't go into that, really. She says, can I have an egg cup to catch the soldiers' heads in when they are executed? Well, this is, of course, why, if you're not eating 2 eggs, you can use the other side of the double egg cup to catch the soldiers' heads. There we are. Easy. Now, here's the line. Attracts me like no other lover. Attracts me like no other lover. We want the title of that. Don't send in your entry until tomorrow. Do it tomorrow, though. Attracts me like no other lover. I'm not that bad. Well, shaky. Bad reputation.
At 10:30 tonight, tune in to Star Sound Extra, Radio 2's weekly film program, for music from Al Jolson, Bing Crosby, Louis Armstrong, Nat King Cole, and Eartha Kitt. Because in this week's special edition, we take a look at and listen to some of the ways in which jazz and jazz musicians have influenced the cinema. Join me, Nick Jackson, for Star Sound Extra tonight at 10:30, because we has jazz.
Don't give it to me, then. 28 minutes past 8, headlines after the birds.
You and me, you and me.
The birds doing time between, and the best thing for them.
Radio 2.
8:30, a look at the news headlines. The Soviet leader, Mr. Gorbachev, has said that unless the Americans abandon their Star Wars program, there can be no deal at Geneva next week on other arms control. Our next news at 9 o'clock.
BBC Radio 2.
What I've got in mind is making love to you.
Take it easy, Bill Joel. Bill Joel Spears. What I've got in mind. 26 minutes to 9 now. It's the 14th of November, and it's a Thursday morning, and it's pretty cold, a bit foggy, and a bit frosty, so now you know. In Grays, in Essex, lives one inventor by the name of Anthony E. Coker. Channel crossing. I've given this matter some thought, and now suggest to you this method for your approval and ratification. Fine, I'll ratify it whenever you like. Get the warfarin out. Each government, French and British, will, from London and Paris, round up and capture all the pigeons in both cities. We, the British, God bless us, will send our pigeons to all French channel ports, and the French will do likewise to Dover, etc. Port authorities each side will then harness 100 pigeons to a small rubber inflatable boat, able to carry about 10 passengers. The pigeons then would try to get home, towing the said boats behind them, a very cheap form of crossing, and would be available to all, except ballet dancers. Why? Because, here it comes, who ever heard of a pigeon-toed ballet dancer? Don't blame me, blame Anthony E. Coker. This is a little beauty from George Benson. George Benson from the 2020 album. Seeing pretty well myself now. Nothing's going to change my love for you. 21 minutes to 9. Go on, listen to this and tell me if you spot the join. Hello there.
On Friday, November the 22nd, Radio 2 will be changing its usual format and giving over the whole day from round midnight to the Children in Need appeal, which means that for one day only, my programme between 1 and 2 will be a request programme. You can have any record you like. The only thing is, it'll cost you. You'll have to pay for it. But then, if it's for children in need, who minds about that?
Thank you, Gloria. Yeah, I think, on the day itself, he ought to do sponsored Hello There's, and I'll do some as well. So if you wish to pledge for either David or myself, we could maybe sit on each other's programmes and do it to cue. Well, we'll think about it. We'll develop that idea. But if you want to pledge some money for David to do a hello there for you, or for me to do a hello there, or something like that, then think about that for a week on Friday, Children in Need Day. If you want to pledge money on this programme, then write to me. Ken Bruce, BBC Radio 2, London W1A 4WW. We'll play the record of your choice. Write in now, or you can phone in on the day itself. And also in the afternoon, we'll be doing Music All the Way live. Mike Redway and Lee Gibson will be singing, and the Ted Taylor Group will be playing your requests live in our Maida Vale studios. That's if we can get them out the tennis club in time. So think about that. For a week on Friday, Children in Need Day.
If someone wrote a song that really turns me on the way that you do.
Lynn Paul. Good song, eh? It ought to sell 1 million. 17 minutes to 9. Lady Mary says, I heard you and Ray Moore talking about your disgusting behaviour at Ray Moore's housewarming party. But there's always a slight exaggeration when Ray tells a story. It wasn't a gallon of wine that spilt on the carpet. It was much less than... You can't imagine me spilling a gallon of wine, can you? Perhaps you misunderstood the situation, she continues. It's when you launch a ship that you throw a bottle of booze, not at a housewarming. Well... It was rather like... Ray Moore sank slowly in the sunset. Didn't even wait for the sun to set. There's his boxcar Willie.
Come lay down beside me and help ease my mind. An old love
Boxcar Willie. That's his latest release. Still recovering from that housewarming. Watching a New Love Grow. It's on the Spartan record label.
Radio 2 Travel News.
Patchy fog and icy conditions are still a serious hazard on a number of major roads in southeast England. 14 minutes to 9 now. Let's pause for thought. And this morning it's John Barton with some more memories on the religious side of life from the Sound Archives.
Good morning. It's time to explore the BBC's Sound Archives again to see how faith affects people's attitudes. First, boxer Cassius Clay, as he used to be known before he changed his name to Muhammad Ali. Here he is with his newfound faith as a Muslim, explaining how his attitude to money has changed.
Be realistic about it. Money matters. We can't live here in this world, as you know, without money. We need money. But I want to say one thing. When it comes to the point where a man, any man, I believe, has to judge between money or God, then I would say he's an idiot or a fool, making a fool of himself to choose money. Because first of all, if the money's there, it was God who got him to the money. Any man can be fat, eating a lot of food, happy and at home and saying, I love God, I believe in God, I treat everybody right. Well, let him get bankrupt, let him wonder how he's going to pay his bills next week, and then see how much he still loves God.
You pays your money and you takes your choice. Now we move from money to medicine, but still with faith in mind. We've grown used to the amazing achievements of modern medicine, but one doctor on record doesn't see himself as a miracle worker, rather as an observer of God's miracles.
I've never healed, in my own opinion, so much as a headache. I believe God does it, and uses me as a channel of anything from the pain in the big toe to something that is called incurable or progressive or malignant. I've seen God intervene in anything you like to mention. The little boy who had what was described as an inoperable tumour in his ear, and this seemed to disappear into thin air. I mean, we've got the confirmation of the doctor's concern, and there was no human explanation of it. But in fact, that is not, in my experience, a remarkable case. It is just what I expect.
It's sometimes said that sailors have to be religious. You may know the prayer, "O God, your sea is so great and my boat is so small." So we've chosen this recording of the skipper of a Scottish fishing boat. He's talking about his dependence on God and the importance of prayer.
As a skipper, I've been in charge of a boat since I was 22 years old. But that's all very well if it was all left to yourself, but having a faith in God is there again is very important. Silent prayer, to me, is just as effective as a prayer spoken audibly. And I believe in the omnipresence of God, being ever near to us, hearing our cries. And I also believe in the prayers of our people ashore have an effect too, as much as our own prayers.
That's Cat Stevens, interesting one, from the Tea for the Tillerman album, Father and Son. No relation to Brian Matthew at all. It's 7 minutes to 9 now. Donna Mackenzie says, I accidentally heard your programme on a day off from college today. If you could arrange for morning classes to be cancelled, I may consider becoming a regular listener. Don't go to any trouble now. Oh, here's that gypsy round the tables again, for goodness sake.
She was a working girl. North of England way. Honey pie, come back soon.
Yes. Well, I know it's supposed to make me laugh, but I always end up stony-faced after listening to that. Barbara Streisand and Honey Pie. News headlines? No news. From John Marsh. After this, from Lionel Richie.
Say you, say me.
Oh, say what you like. Lionel Richie.
Radio 2.
It's 9 o'clock now. This is John Marsh at the news desk.
BBC Radio